again!
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz and the Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guys, Two and the Truth, with me. How are we doing, people?
We're good, man. We're all good in the hood.
All good, man.
Now, before we start, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. A lot more content coming out. We want a lot more conversations. We want a lot more debates as well. We want to know what you want to talk about just as much as what we want to talk about, because we can talk for England. But just make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on the channel. And I just want to say Happy New Year to you two guys.
Safe, bruv. You too, man.
Yeah, man. New year. Not new me, same old me, but same old truth.
I mean, it's been a mad one. It's been a mad 2020.
I know, man.
I mean, bro, like, it's one of them ones where words can't even describe what's been going on.
And the fact it's gone so quickly is just like,
it's mad.
So much has gone on and it's gone so quickly. It's like,
bro, it feels like they condensed, because when did we first hear about it? January, but then it never really affected us until March.
Exactly. Yeah.
And bro, from March through to December, bro, it feels like a month. They've crammed everything into a month. That's
literally what it feels like, man.
That's how mad it's been.
Bruv, speak for yourself, bruv. For me, bruv, this whole fucking that period there was at least a decade of my life, bruv. Bruv,
You saying they're stressing you out? They were stressing you out
hard, bruv. But I can't lie, bruv. But March to June, I got a nice little break still, bruv. You get what I mean? And I thought it'd last forever, but nah.
I'm still on break, fam. Like I'm still only part time out here.
Enjoy it as much as you can.
I know.
I've worked throughout, so nothing's changed for me, bro. Nothing's changed for me. It's just
no opportunities for us to like pick up a new hobby or learn a new language or none of that shit for us, bro.
You know, one of the people that are sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, I learned how to speak Mandarin," or I learned how to become a magician, all that. Where I'm just out here just working, bro. just working man's life.
Like. To become a magician, you know.
I'm working with my key workers and all that, bro. Like, clap for me, innit? Clap for me, innit?
Trust me, bro. I want to be hearing that shit in 2021. I want to be walking home having people clap, bro.
I'm telling you, it's been a mad one. And before we get into what we want to get into, obviously it's been a mad year and we've lost so many people.
Many.
It feels mad. I got a list of people. This ain't even a quarter of the amount of people that we've lost. These are the names that picked out it's not in chronological order. It's just what I've written down. But we lost Kobe. We lost Kobe. We lost Gerard Houllier. We lost Maradona. We lost Barbara Windsor. We lost Papa Bouba Diop. We lost Ray Clements. We lost Des O'Connor. We lost Sean Connery, the best James Bond of all time. We lost Chadwick Boseman. We lost Jack Charlton. We lost Little Richard. We lost Sterling Moss. We lost Black the Ripper. We lost Pop Smoke.
Proper. Rest in peace, bro.
You're bringing off names there. I'm just like, rah. Yeah. All this year.
Bro, I can't believe like Black the Ripper died, bro. That fucked me up, bro. Black the Ripper dying fucked me up, bro. Bro, I was at one of his first ever gigs. Like, this was when we were in Kingston back then, bro.
Yeah.
And Low Key and Akala were doing some fundraising for Pakistan. Like an earthquake had hit, a flood had hit. And I was distributing the flyers around the SU bar at the time. And yeah, bro, back then Black the Ripper had his little thing going on, but he hadn't broken into like the sort of scene yet, or he hadn't got a cosign yet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And getting Akala and Low Key to co-sign you was just like the perfect sort of introduction into the game, bruv. And he came out at the gig, he killed the gig. And then since that day, bruv, I've been following him. And I love the little movement he had going on, his little niche thing. And he was killing it, bruv. It's mad how he died, bruv. It's mad, bro. Crazy, man. Yeah, bro. Like, but remember, bro, truth. Pardon me. You remember we were talking about, like, when you watch like a fighter's debut, and then you watch their whole career to the end, and then you reflect on it, and you're like, rah, I remember this guy's first fight. And I watched his whole career. It's the same shit, like with Black the Ripper. Like, I remember watching his shit from the beginning and then right to the end, and I'm like, rah.
Dedication, bro.
Yeah, it's emotional, bro. But also, shout out Fred the Godson to all my hip hop heads. He also passed away as well.
Oh, my days, yeah.
It's nuts. Truth for you.
All this
like,
year as well, man.
Yeah. Which one hit you the most, Truth?
Had to be Kobe. Had to be Kobe. Because that was one of the first ones where it was just like, bam. Like, because with Kobe, we were reading and hearing him talk like a day before. Like, he was just talking about, he was just talking, for me, I just listened to him talking about the Australian Open, about Djokovic. He was just on there. And he was talking about Djokovic and that. And then I remember that night, he wrote something to LeBron about his next game. And then that night, you know, one of the ones here where you're actually checking because you think it's a joke, like you think it's a prank.
Bro,
that's what it was.
You sent the thing in the WhatsApp group, innit? I'll never forget it because I was walking the missus to the car and you sent it, bruv. And my legs buckled when I read it. I was like, this can't be true, bruv. This can't be true. And then I walked out to the car, go back home, trying to get on all the news things to see what's going on. And then I saw it, bruv. And I was like, him and his daughter as well, R.I.P. to her as well. And it's bruv, listen, as I said, Kobe was the reason why I started supporting the Lakers. MJ was the reason why I started watching basketball, but Kobe was the reason why I started supporting the Lakers. And it's like, you don't know these people, but because you've grown up with them and seen their success, and then we're all sports guys, so we become very engrossed in sport, and it's just mad, bro. It was mad surreal. And then obviously, like, for us, it's bad, but obviously for his wife to lose a husband and a child, it's crazy, yo. Absolutely crazy. And that was obviously the catalyst for things to transpire and get even worse, bro.
Yeah, that's something that's what it was. Like, it was the first one. Like, it was the first one where it was like caught your eye for the whole year, and then from there on in, no one was surprised anymore about even though they're high profile. You know, you talk about Chadwick Boseman, you talk about Maradona, Sean Connery. Like, no one, it hit. But it's like, we come to expect it now from this year, 2020.
You just get a numbness. You just get a numbness. Like, all them names, the next one after Kobe, I think the next one that proper hit me, and that's because I love my soaps, bruv, was Barbara Windsor, bruv, because I love EastEnders. I'm like, wow, bruv, Peggy, you know.
It's funny that you say that, because for probably you know, being EastEnders, and I watched EastEnders when I was a bit younger, but for me, it hit home quite a bit because our family were big Carry On fans. You know, the Carry On movies.
Yeah, my mum loved that stuff, bro.
Yeah, me, my mum, my dad, you know, we used to watch that. Like, we used to crack up at the movie. So that's where it hit home with Barbara Windsor and that. So
I'm telling you, and then
for me, bro, for me, just on the Kobe thing, what Truth said was spot on, bro. It was after his death that everything just went fucking mental, innit? Real, man. And just looking back at it with rose-tinted glasses, bruv. I remember in sixth form, bruv, Celtics versus Lakers, like the fucking the big three Celtics versus the Lakers, and bruv, he done the works, bruv. He done the business
on his own.
With
a knee injury, bro.
Derek Fisher hitting that strut heard around the world.
Bruv, listen, Derek Fisherman is.
Hey.
Oh no. Oh no.
This guy's MVP. He should have got MVP.
I'll never forget Derek Fisher, was public enemy number one to the Truth, bruv, when Lakers played Orlando.
Oh man, I hated him for that.
Oh man.
Right, but he had a crackhead on his team as well. What was it? Lamar Odom as well.
Odom, bro. But Odom did his drop. He played six-man well, bro.
I know.
He played six-man well, bro. So
Yeah,
can't say nothing
and
against
he
it.
was on crack, bro. Do you know what I mean? Bro, Kobe had, like, you're talking about, you know, I'm not going to name drop, but we're talking about a certain individual that had to make his team and cry and whinge to the board to get all the right. Bro, my man was playing with fucking Derek Fisherman and a crackhead, bro. And some dude Spain. And some dude from like Spain.
Obviously, you haven't heard about Kobe and Shaq, man. Obviously, you haven't heard about that. Kobe, Lakers was Kobe, okay? Kobe owned everything about the Lakers. But rightfully so, to be honest. Rightfully so.
Of course, man. Of course, he was Mr. LA. But R.I.P. to all those people, man, and everyone else man. that we didn't mention. It's been a tough year for everybody, and even anyone that's not famous. The amount of people that we lost to this Corona thing, bruv, it's absolute madness.
Millions, man.
We just have to look forward to 2021 and hope that. Bruv, obviously we're not going to get into this whole vaccine thing, bruv, because we're not trying to get shut down. But hopefully 2021's looking a lot brighter. But I just wanted to come to you two. 2020, as mad as it was, we still did get some sport going on across various different platforms. For you, one or two, what were the highlights of the year before you in terms of sport? We know that you're Mr. Combat Sports, but it could be anything. What were the highlights for you of 2020?
Oh, definitely the NBA Finals.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This troll.
This guy, blood.
Less of that, bro. No, I'm joking. Oh, that's a tough question, bro. Off the cuff.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Best fight, go on.
Yeah, bruv, it has to be before the lockdown, Joanna versus Whaley, and after lockdown, Moreno versus Davison. Those two UFC cards were fucking stacked.
You talking about the whole card or the main event?
The whole card. The whole card was bad. I can't remember the Joanna card too much, but let me just Google that real quick. But on that fight, bruv, yeah, those two chicks went to hell and back. Do you know what I mean?
know it was actually a highlight. It was actually
madness. It was probably the
best women's fight. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and I know it became like a little bit of a meme for Joanna because her head.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, bro. She had that alien head, looking like Mars Attacks, bro.
It was a brutal fight, man. I never thought women could fight like that, but.
Bruv, trust me, and that's the thing, yeah. We'll get into it another day, like women's MMA and shit. But that fight was just brutal. Like that fight was brutal, bruv. And again, Joanna came out of it looking like a bit of a meme because her head was all fucked up. It looked like that giant hematoma looked like a fucking country on its own, bruv. But trust me, bruv. But I mean, I had some people scoring it for her to win the fight. It was that close. Do you know what I mean? It was literally on a knife's edge. It could have gone to either woman. And from a technical point of view, yeah, bruv, like I can't, and this is not me being sexist or whatever, bruv, and I do like women's MMA and all that shit, but it is just cack, innit, bruv? Like women's MMA is cack, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
It's not that bad.
Bro, it's good. All right, look, let me put it in perspective. Yeah. Women's MMA will shit on any, except for tennis, will shit on any other sport, female sort of division. All right. So, bro, who the fuck cares about WNBA? Who the fuck cares about women's?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like you women's. Like, look, first of all, I'm not a true fan of women combat in general.
Yeah.
I have seen more than enough competitive women's UFC fights, which has made me take it a little more seriously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. Like at the end of the, I mean, Joanna was dominating for a while,
Yeah.
and then end up losing the belt because someone's always going to come up and
Yeah.
like try and take your spot. And it was the same thing with Cyborg, and Amanda Nunes is dominating now. So in terms of UFC for women, bro, it's good, man. And then was it that Shevchenko, Valentina Shevchenko now is the one's dominating?
That's what I call my niece. I call her Shevchenko, bro. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Over this break, yeah, I was teaching her how to do double leg takedowns, throw elbows from the guard, shit. Like, bro, I'm telling you, I told her like take the back, grab the neck, put the choke on. If I tap, it means you stop. Like, I was teaching her all this shit, bro. But she was then turning it into like some next thing where it's like, but now we're gonna play My Little Ponies and less of that, bro. Less of that. Like, put your hands up. I want to see a good 1-2. No fucking Barbie and none of that, bro. But yeah, the point I was trying to make, was that women's MMA in terms of all the other sports for women is got much more acceptance, notoriety. It's much more famous, and even the level they compete at is really, really good.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is with the champions, they're all sick. Like, I rate all the champions. So Joanna, Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, all those cats, the very top of the mountain, creme de la creme of women's MMA. I respect them. I don't really see any flaws with what they do. But the rest of the division, it's like the way they fight is almost so robotic and systematic. It's almost like they don't see an opponent in front of them. They see their coach with the mitts in front of them. So everything is in the same pattern, in the same construct. Do you know what I mean? So it becomes very predictable. Like, you can tell what combo they want to throw. You can tell, like, it's almost like a practice dance routine, if you get what I mean. That's what it looks like you're watching. Whereas when you watch the men fight or the champion women fight, like the Wei Li and Joanna fight, bruv, that's not there. Like, you're not. Do you know what I mean? They're going out.
No, you're right. You're right. It's a problem in it's a problem in a lot of women's sports that at the top end, it's a high level, but they don't have a middle.
Yeah.
They don't have a below. You literally go from the top straight way to the bargain basement.
The bottom. Exactly.
But I think that will take time. Over the years. As more and more, because this is a thing that obviously it's a global thing where trying to get women involved in certain sports is very, very difficult. And MMA is one of them. MMA is one, bruv. Like, even men, bruv. Me personally, bruv, I don't want no one trying to take off my head top in it. I ain't got time for it in it. Bruv, I'll lose all discipline, and bro, it's like we're on the roadside. Like, man, just trying to grab whatever I can grab, bro, and start fighting, bro. You get me? So I think it's just trying to get women involved in it. And obviously, we've seen that women's football's starting to get more and more people involved. Tennis, they've always been involved in tennis. Even boxing with Katie Taylor, a lot more women are taking that up. Darts and all the rest of it. So I think it's just a case of bro, that woman. Bro, I don't know what her name is, bruv. I don't know what her name is.
That skinny one that you're talking about.
I know we cover all sports all the time. I've got to fucking go into chess now.
Don't listen. We got, bruv. Next time, bruv, chessboard, bruv. We'll bang out some chess, bruv.
But yeah, man, with the women's division, just to wrap it up and go back to the two events that I thought were banging. Or the highlight for the year for me. So that event, and I think that one was the one with Adesanya and Costa, bro. Remember the main event was dead, bro. It was dead food, and I was out here talking shit about Israel and trying to get the views up.
And the puffy left tit.
Puffy. No, that was after. That was the Costa fight. I'm talking about at the beginning of the year with Romero. Yeah, where it went the decision.
Because they both didn't fight.
Exactly. They were both timid, and the main event was dead, but the rest of the card was pretty sick, man. And the Wei Li fight and the Joanna fight, at that time, everyone would have just given them fight of the year without caring about what the rest of the fights were going to be like. I thought that event was bad, and that was right before lockdown. then obviously the card that they had in Fight Island between Gaethje and Ferguson, I thought that was a sick card as well.
Oh yeah, that fight, that main event. I mean, the whole card.
The whole card was sick. Yeah.
Was that the did that card have Max and Volkanovski?
Yeah.
And then Aldo and bro, that card was fire.
Yeah, that was the co-main event, bro.
Yeah,
and then
that card was fire.
Bro, that card as well, I think that was the first sports event that had been
after lockdown.
Organized after the lockdown. So the UFC got on it quick, bro. They weren't hanging around for nothing.
Yeah.
And also on that card, bro, there was bare other good fights as well, man. Who was it? Francis Ngannou fought in 20 seconds. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Do that in 20 seconds. And then Cejudo versus Cruz, bruv. The Truth's boy. Dominic Cruz, and Cejudo.
Hey, Cejudo's that guy, man.
Those cards were banging. And then obviously the last card that we finished the year off with, Ferguson Oliveira, and
that was a good card.
Mad.
Yeah, I forgot who fought in the main event now. It slipped my mind.
Your boy, what's his name? Slipped my mind.
Oh, I can't remember their names.
I got it.
Who was it? Fuck. Bro, this was like us trying to figure out Dirty Dap's name. You remember? Like everyone's just thinking hard, bro. Oh, who was it, man? Oh.
It's actually annoying me. I feel to go check, but I'm not on my laptop. It's your boy. It's not Moreno.
Yeah, bro. It was Moreno and
Moreno.
Yeah, bro. Moreno Figueiredo. Yeah, bro. Trust me. That card was banging as well.
That was a good fight, you know. That was a sick fight.
Yeah, it was.
You could have.
That's what I mean. That was fight of the year. After that fight, bro, Joanna and Whaley's fight was banging. And so was this, and they could both win it. But I think
so. Tony Gaethje as well, bro. That fight was nuts as well in itself.
Yeah. It was. But those two fights were wars, if you get what I mean. Like it was on a knife's edge. You couldn't score the round.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
he was winning the round. Bro, I'm sure the judges didn't have a fucking idea who to give the fight to. Do you know what I mean? But with the Gaethje Ferguson fight, it was a lot of energy before the fight. Like then, do you know what I mean? The way they got you hyped up for it, they're doing it on an island. It's the first sport since lockdown. You got Khabib in the story as well, who had to pull out, and now we got this last minute replacement in. We got Ferguson, who's on like a 12-fight winning streak. They're fighting for the interim championship belt. You got Gaethje, who's never ever gone to decision. Every fight he's in is a post-fight bonus. Like, bruv, it was just, there was a lot of gas, but the fight itself was more of like it was a beatdown. You know?
It was one-sided, It was one-sided. But you know what it was?
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise, one, but two, even the back of your mind, even though you're watching it and thinking to yourself, Gaethje's dominated, you just thought to yourself, Tony could do something. Yeah, that was in my head, That was the intrigue. It's like, even though Tony's getting beat up, like it's like, is Gaethje gonna gas out? Tony's gonna come back and all that, and obviously it didn't occur. But I think that was the thing. When we take all the hype from before the fight and watch the fight, it's like, even though it was one-sided, anyone else would have been like, this is dead, just one-sided. Because it was Tony, it's like, bro, like has Gaethje gassed out and Tony's gonna fit, but it never occurred. I think that's what kept people watching it more than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I thought, because I was in the back of my head, So there's two things in the back of my head. I'm like, Tony's never got beaten down like this before, so I kind of knew that the fight was kind of over. But I always thought in my head, if Tony can get him to the ground, if he can actually try to do some shoots, try something. He only tried one throughout the whole of the fight.
Yeah, I think it was a Minari role.
Yeah.
And
he tried one, and then I was like, why is he only trying? Why is he not changing up his tactics? Like, if he keeps on this, he was going to lose. Then that's what happened.
Tony's just a psychopathic fighter, bro. There's just two types of fighters, bro. There's two types of fighters. There's the fighters that you have, like Roberto Duran. He doesn't give a fuck if he wins. He's going in there to kill.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? He's going in there to kill. The game plan never changes. The mentality never changes.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going in and I'm gonna like just rip him apart. And that's the kind of mold that fighters like Tony Ferguson are built of. Do you know what I mean? They're fighters, they're not athletes. Then you have the others who are athletes more so than fighters. They go in there, game plan shit, and like study weaknesses and try to put you in positions and use that. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean. You have your Nick Diaz's, your Nate Diaz's, your Roberto Duran's, your Tony Ferguson's, and you need those guys because that's what makes this sport bare exciting. It's like they don't care about none of that shit, bro. They really don't give a fuck, bro. After the fight, I'm not sure if you remember the viral video of him in the hospital, and he's got tubes hooked up to him, and he's dancing like he's doing the cha-cha, and I'm like, bro, this guy is mental, bro.
He's a lunatic. He's an absolute lunatic, bro. So,
on boxing though, I mean, bruv, just to wrap it up on boxing, like dead sport, dead food. Do you know what I mean? Even the Fight Island event that I was talking about, even though it was a one-way beatdown, just the pre-fight excitement that got you all hyped up. Like, you know, they gave, even if you didn't know who Gaethje or Ferguson was, or you weren't familiar with their work, the pre-fight package that they put together, you understood they were two dangerous opponents. You understood the Khabib aspect of it. You understood they're doing it on an island because of the COVID. Like, it just got so, it got you buzzing, bro. It got you buzzing. Like, we were all sitting there waiting for that day on our calendar. Do you know what I mean? All of us were. I remember the group chat was lit, bro. Friendships were on the line, bro. People defending Khabib and people going in for people defending Khabib. People were like rating Ferguson. People were overlooking Gaethje. Like, bro, it just, where's that in Bob? Like, bro, none of the fights this year have. You could say the Fury Wilder fight did that.
That's it.
Of course it did. Like, you know it did, because the two of you alone.
But that's what you're trying to say. That's it. That was the only fight in boxing that got us.
That was it, because it was the only fight that was made that we wanted to see. As we'll get into what we want to see in the future.
But some great fight. I must put my hand. Some great fights in the year, but nothing that really just. Do you know what I mean? Other than the Fury Wilder fight, nothing in the boxing calendar. Nothing really just gave you that. I
mean, the only other one you could probably say is Teofimo and Lomachenko. That was probably the only other fight.
Bro, for real, my boy. Teofimo, bro.
But then even that, like it was a good fight, and Teofimo got it he deserved, but
it didn't get the interest. Trust me.
No, I didn't, because I didn't know if it happened. It was only because of
I was begging you, bro. I was begging you. How many times did I beg you to do it?
I know. But, bro, there was just no interest in it, and you know, it was for me. It was a thing where I didn't realize how big the fight was until after, because, bro, nothing was said about it.
Bro, I'll tell you this much,
the promotion for it was poor.
Bro, yeah, exactly. The other WhatsApp group that I'm on, and all of us are MMA, like, fighting heads. All of us are combat sports heads.
Yeah,
trust me. So on the other group, and one of the guys is even like an instructor out in Dubai for the Nogueira brothers and shit. So it's deep like that, yeah, bruv. The Teofimo Loma fight only attracted me and one of my other homeboys who he lives in LA, and you know, he follows boxing out there as well. So out of a group full of like 9 people, only 2 people were talking about Loma and
it's mad.
So bro, but the fight itself was a brilliant fight. It was a coming out party. I put money on Fimo done me well. That's my story now. Do you know what I mean? But again, just the excitement for it was just not there, bro.
I know.
It wasn't.
Bro, you know what I mean? It's a shame that such a good fight, which had so many stakes on the line, was just like it feels like one of those like fucking Sky Sports, JD Sports cards. Was it Next Gen that they put on like Friday?
Man said Next Gen, you know.
Bro, it felt like that, bro. Do you know what I mean? It felt a bit flat, but the fight itself was banging, bro. But boxing is dead food, man. So less of that anyway.
Just as a final point to wrap up on UFC, well, a UFC connoisseur, which is 2. Khabib's retirement.
Yeah.
Obviously happened 2020. Just for you, how did you see that retirement for you? as an MMA fan?
I thought it was very fitting, you know, given everything that led up to that fight. So a few things, obviously, the passing of his father was one of them. And that was his, like, you know, his mentor, his dad, his best friend, his everything. Obviously, the Ferguson fight as well. And it was like the 5th time they tried to make that fight happen and they couldn't make it happen. And in the end, Gaethje beat Ferguson and then Gaethje got the spot. So that added a whole little dynamic to it as well.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that his father said, and, you know, the culture that Khabib is from and the kind of personality that he is, like, he's very true to his word. Honor and dignity and shit like that is like outvalues fame and money and all that other stuff. So his father's wish was always for him to retire 30-0 and his last fight to be against GSP. And GSP had come out and said many times, like, look, I'll take the fight. The UFC don't want it. Now, the reason why the UFC don't want it is simple, is because they don't want to have another situation where someone comes in, takes the belt, and then vacates the belt. So, you know, it happened a few times, and it's to be honest, it's only happened since the Conor bubble, because Conor went up to lightweight, took the belt off Alvarez, and then he didn't defend the featherweight belt, and he didn't defend the lightweight belt. And the division was just put on hold. Then GSP came in and done the same with Bisping.
Yeah, well, Bisping should have never had that belt in the first place, bro.
Trust me. So it was one of them ones where GSP came in and then the division was put on hold because, you know, there's no champion. And it happened in one more division as well. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Amanda Nunes, when she went up and beat Cyborg.
Oh yeah.
And then that division got defunct as well. So they didn't want to have a situation on their hand where, you know, Khabib's going to retire and GSP's only coming out to do this one super fight. What about the belt? What about the organization's interest?
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
So that fight was so fitting for him to retire because he was not going to get his fight with GSP. He'd already ran through all of the top contenders in, what is it?
Lightweight,
yeah. He ran through all of them. And he's not, I mean, you could say he maybe had lost 1 round, maybe 2 rounds in his whole career. Just rounds, bruv. You know what I mean? Not even fights.
That's mad.
Given that his father died and knowing that he was a big part of his life, it made sense, bruv. It made complete sense. And if he does come out of retirement next year, which I don't see happening, but if he does, you know, everyone knows it's got to be the Conor fight. There's no other fight out there. There's no other fight out there. The Ferguson fight is now dead because Ferguson lost 2 in a row.
Yeah,
he looks a shell of his former self. So,
but sorry, just the thing. What do you think of Oliveira? How high do you think his ceiling is?
Oh, very high, very, very high.
I mean, can he compete for the?
Yeah, easily, bro. That fight against Ferguson for me. Again, remember on the WhatsApp group, I was telling you like the reasons why I think Tony was going to win. Because Oliveira had like a few weaknesses here and there that I had noticed, and the biggest one was actually he couldn't, like, every time he got a shot against someone with a name, he kind of flopped.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
he did think Kevin Lee though. That's for me when I saw him and his breakout for me. The Kevin Lee fight was
yeah, and that's where things started changing for him, bruv. Because before the Kevin Lee fight, he was in the UFC for 10 years and he was taking out all the competition. But every time he came up against a name, so someone like Max Holloway, someone like Anthony Pettis, you know, those guys, those kind of top 10, top 5 guys, he'd always lose. Do you know what I mean? And then it just made you think like, right, is this as good as he is?
Yeah.
But that Kevin Lee fight earlier in the year in Brazil, bruv, like he showed levels. Bruv.
Yeah, he did. I was really impressed.
Trust me. And then again in the Tony fight, all that shit I was talking about in the group, like, you know, his weakness here, that, this, that, and the third, Tony can take it. Bruv, he got rid of all, like, he fought a perfect fight.
Yeah,
he fought a fucking perfect fight, bruv. There wasn't a single foot that went wrong in that fight, bruv. Not a single thing. Yeah.
Anyone else would have tapped out to that armbar. Any other freaking person on the planet.
That's what I mean.
Disgusting.
Tony's a part of that generation, bruv. Like I said, he's a fighter where you could break his arm, he's not going to tap.
Nah, bruv, that was disgusting, bruv. Them things there, I can't watch stuff like that, innit? Man, nah, bruv. That is not for me at all.
Trust me, bruv. That was a mad one. But yeah, with Khabib, it's just a matter of like, I don't see it happening. I don't see why he should come back. And he doesn't need to satisfy no one, bruv. Quite frankly, I think he's been, and I've been a part of the disrespect. Don't get me wrong, because you know me, man. But I've been a part of the disrespect of the Khabib wagon, and he hasn't. I don't think he's got the respect he deserves, bruv. And the way that he was being treated, like if you look at his image, it's like he's always going to be that guy that, even though he beat the shit out of Conor, like he got his name off Conor, so people are always going to associate his success in some part to Conor. And secondly, when he fought this year against Gaethje and his father died, bruv, the only thing the media was sticking to was the death of his father. And I found that disgusting, bruv. I found that like just banger. Like he kept telling and he kept it cool, you know, he didn't flip out, but you could see the media were just trying to get something, like they were trying to prod him with a stick until he...
There's a few times, I think some interview, it's so dumb, yeah. He was at the pre-conference. He's like, he asked a question about Khabib's dad. He's like, how do you feel about his passing certain? And he kind of snapped a little bit. He's like, how do you think I feel in terms of his dad passing certain? I can't remember exactly what he said, but he kind of snapped. So
and
you
could tell it was starting to irritate him, bruv, because that's like the world he comes from. Is like you're just left alone to mourn and handle business. Like you don't put your business out there.
Yeah.
But the way the media were just going about it was just like, you could tell it was not good, man. It was not nice. So he doesn't owe anything to no one. And if I was him, I'd just stay retired, bro. I'd be like, fuck them.
You know the thing with people like Khabib though, the problem with people like Khabib, I'm not saying there's a problem, but because of the fight game, I'm talking about boxing, UFC, everyone now is Muhammad Ali. So everyone's that trash talker, everyone's trying to boost their image. Khabib stands out as a guy that doesn't care about any of that. As he said, he wants respect. It's about respect sport, it's about honor. He's old school when it comes to that Bruce Lee, honor by fighting, that all kind of stuff. So it's unheard of. So even for the media, it's unheard of. They almost want him to be a bad boy, and he's not that. Like he's genuine. Like anything he says, that's it. Like, you know, so
yeah, I agree, man. I agree. But yeah, very wholesome for a dirty game.
Yeah,
I agree completely. But we shall see if Khabib can be tempted out of retirement. As Tu said, there's no reason for him to come out unless that GSP fight could potentially happen in 2021, and I'm sure we'll be hoping that does go ahead. Truth, for you, what was the highlight of 2020? Apart from the FA Cup win?
Thinking about it, there's been a lot of the finals have been good highlights for me, especially this year. NBA finals, LeBron fan, happy he got his 4th ring. As you said, FA Cup final. But for me, and Tooth knows this, for me, it has to be Fury and Wilder. The build up to that was just heated. It was heated. Everyone had their camp, they defend their corner. After the first fight, no one knew what was going to happen. I remember that night because the WhatsApp group in my whole phone was buzzing off. Everyone, it was buzzing off. Like even before the fight. And I know Tooth.
Did you find yourself saying the same shit in every group? There's literally
I'm telling you. Well, and one thing that got me excited, even though I look back on it and he used it as an excuse, but Tooth knows Wilder's entrance was fire. Like just because the whole build up to it, it just felt fire. The guy rapping a black what's it? Was it Black Magic? That he was coming out to Black Magic, the tune he was rapping on it. He was coming in a costume.
Yeah,
Like the whole build up to the fight was just epic. Like, you know, Fury coming out in the throne. It was just magical. Like this is what boxing should be like. This is what boxing should be, the best fighting the best.
It should be. It should be.
And the build up for it was beautiful. And then the fight, no one knew what was gonna happen. No one knew what was gonna happen. And the fact that Fury stood in front of him and just put it on him, you know, it was, for me, that's the highlight of the year, man.
It was, bro. I remember, bro, because I didn't watch the fight. I wouldn't sleep in it.
Oh yeah, dude.
I would sleep. Woke up to because I was thinking to myself, I'm either gonna wake up to a Wilder knockout or Fury on points in it. And I think the last thing I said in the WhatsApp group was, I think Fury's gonna take it on points. Yeah. 2-2s, I wake up in the morning, man says KO, the TKO, bro. I went, hold on, what? For who? Bro, I thought it was a typo. And then I ended up watching the fight and seeing that Fury actually just laid into him and the towel was thrown in. But it was mad, like the whole anticipation, the build up, the fact that people felt that Fury had been robbed for the first fight. Obviously, we're not going to get into whether he was robbed or not, but second fight comes, no one knows what's going to happen. Fury does the unexpected because, let's be honest, we all said in the WhatsApp group, Fury doesn't hurt nobody. If you look at his career, like how many real knockouts are really on his resume. So for him to be able to stop Deontay Wilder was an absolute madness. And obviously, I don't know how much time I want to give you two in terms of this, but I want to give you a little bit of time purely because like you haven't actually spoken about it face to face for a while. But in terms of forward thinking to 2021, I think I'm setting myself up here. Does that third fight need to happen? Does it need to happen?
102% yes, with a 2% chance of an anomaly. But yes, that fight.
I'm gonna shock everyone. I'm gonna shock everybody. 2, I agree with you. 110% that fight needs to happen because I don't like when someone's name has been sullied unjustly. So the only way to get any doubt out of it is for Fury to go into the third fight, get his hands checked in. I want his gloves checked. I want X-ray vision. I want everything. I want that CSI. You know the CSI when they go inside and thing the little cuts inside his gloves. I want his body checked for drugs. I want everything done. Wilder checked. I want the ring checked. I want the referee to have a background check, all the way back from when he was a child. I want everything perfect. So then we can finally see, and then there are no excuses. Whatever happens, there are no excuses. Whatever happens, and then that's it. That's it. So that's why the third fight needs to go. So there's no excuses.
That fight, listen, the third fight will not erase the fucking crimes that fucking twat.
Of course it will. Or there's no point in the third fight then. If it doesn't erase the crime, there's no point in the third fight.
No, it won't erase what he done, bruv. It won't erase what he done.
What did he do?
Do you want me to get into it?
Like, I think people want to know what he did. What you believe he did.
Tell the people
what he allegedly done.
Remember, you are on the internet. You're liable to be sued if you're wrong in any information that you may spit out.
Bomb squad, baby. Bomb squad. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, they done my boy dirty, bro. They done my boy dirty. He had such a pure heart. He had such a clean heart. He went in there. He didn't know what he was getting himself into with these fucking people, bro. And they set him up, bro.
Start from the top. Who set him up?
All right. Start from the top. The first fight, yeah? Let's go. Let's take it back, bro. Let's take it back to when this shit started, bro. Some Wu-Tang Clan shit, yeah? Bruv, the first fight, yeah, there was dodgy gloves. Bruv, look, it's all out there on the internet. There's both sides. There's the side that believe the gloves are dodgy. There's the side that believe the gloves are fine. But me, again, being the combat sports guy and watching boxing and watching and practicing and bruv, gloves just don't look like that, bruv. I mean, to my untrained eye, all right? To my untrained eye, gloves just don't look like that, all right? And there's footage out there where you could see it. It is what it is. But it wasn't, it was kind of overshadowed and ignored simply because Tyson put up such a good fight. He put up a really good fight. And I had scored it for Tyson. But on review, I thought a draw was a fair, I thought a draw was fair, bruv. Do you know what I mean? He got 2 knockdowns. Some of those rounds were swing rounds. And to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. So those tight rounds will always traditionally go to the champ. So if you add that logic into it, then yeah, first fight, draw, but he still cheated, in my opinion. Second, or allegedly, I'll use those words. Yeah?
Exactly. Save yourself.
Trust me, bro. Just in case people pull me up on this, I could be like, hey, listen, I said allegedly. Yeah? Second fight, I agree with everything you two said, actually, bruv. The hype, the excitement, me and Truth were going at it for like weeks. Our friendships were on the line. Bruv, he blocked me, I blocked him, I deleted his number, he deleted me. Trust me, bruv. It was deep like that, bruv. It was like my family member going to war against his family member, bruv. It was crazy. So I agree with all of that. The fight itself, and even the lead up to the fight with the costume and, you know, the rapping and all that shit. I thought that was heavyweight, bruv. He did make himself look like a bit of a dickhead by saying the costume. But
nonsense.
then again, this is a dirty game. Like, as I said about Khabib, yeah, he is a wholesome person in a dirty game. The same applies to Wilder. I never heard those words come directly out of his mouth, all right? But the sources that quote him on that, and it was ESPN and Yahoo Sports, yeah? Dan Ioli from Yahoo Sports and, Kevin Ioli from Yahoo Sports and Dan Raphael from ESPN. They said, in his quotes, the costume made him tired, it was too heavy, from a telephone conversation. Now, you put as much faith as you want into that statement, but me being Wilder's boy, I'm just gonna be like, nah, that's total bullshit. Until I don't hear him say that shit, I'm not buying it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, with the glove situation, bruv, them gloves were fucked up, bruv. It is what it is. It was even worse and more noticeable than it was in the first fight, where you were oblivious to it. The second fight, it was bait, man. All those pictures, the footage, like you can see the gloves are just, there's no resistance to them. They're flopping in the wind. They're all the way by his thumb. And then, you know, you do a little bit of homework and you hear different accounts of different boxers saying shit like that. Like his sparring partner, Ashbury, who was sparring with him, went into Tyson's locker room. And this is before these fights. Went into his locker room and found Tyson was sparring with gloves that had no padding. Do you know what I mean? Literally the same way that Mayweather went into the meeting for the Maidana fight and he pulled out Maidana's glove and he's like, look, I could feel my fucking fingers touching each other. There's no padding here. We're not fighting with those gloves. It was the same shit that Ashbury done with the Fury gloves. Then there was another account of one of the people at Crunk Gym, one of the boxers at Crunk Gym, talking about how, you know, in Detroit and Midwest, that's one of the dirty sort of tactics they use. It's like they wear the gloves a little bit lower so you can hit them with the fist. Yeah. Then there was the fight against that white dude, Christian Hammer. No, before Wilding. I think it was Hammer, right? Christian Hammer.
I think so.
Yeah. Christian Hammer fight. They're in the ring. The referee tells them, you know, the rules. And then he looks at Tyson's glove and he's like, yo, you need to take that glove off and get it put back on. Like, you can't fight like that. Then Cunningham, the guy he fought in his American debut, made a video and explained it as well. And he was like, look, I'm not picking sides. I'm just showing you, like, this is how it's done. This is pure cheating. So I'm adding up all these things on top of my eyeball test, which again is an untrained eye, but still it looks dodgy. I know people are going to say, but the commission was there and the locker room cameras were on and this and that. But then again, when have the commission ever caught a fighter for cheating? They never have caught a fighter for cheating. All the times where there's been cases of tampered gloves or no padding, it's always been the opponents that have spotted it. You know, the classic one was the Maidana Mayweather one. They were there, the commission was right fucking there in front of the gloves. They were there the whole time. Mayweather came in. The moment Mayweather came, he's like, bro, I could fucking feel my fingers through this shit. And the commission is right there. And they approved to put these gloves out on the table. So the commission's never sold anything. Do you know what I mean? And the thing about the camera, the locker room camera and the gloves, this and that, is like, and Diaz, Wilder's coach, being in the locker room as well, watching the hands get wrapped. I don't think he tampered with the hand wraps, because how is he going to do that? He's being watched by the commission and Wilder's coach. So the hand wraps were fine. But the way he put the gloves on, his fist was in the neck part of the glove. It wasn't all the way in. And we didn't get to see him lacing up his gloves. In fact, Fury's cornerman put a towel over the camera after they wrapped his hands. Do you know what I mean? So no one saw how the gloves were put on. All these little things. And, bruv, there's more evidence for this being a cheat than the fucking coronavirus vaccine, bruv. So bruv, you know what I mean? I'm bringing out bars here, bruv. But anyway, during the fight itself, if you get hit with a knuckle, do you know what I mean? Like, anything can happen. And you saw the crack on the side of Wilder's head. His ears were bleeding, shit like that. And Wilder's accusations are he even had something in the glove. That I'm not sure of. I can't speak on that. I don't know. But all the other shit, I just have a feeling there was something wrong with the gloves. Now, circling it back to, does this fight need to happen again? It 100% needs to happen again. Wilder gave him a shot when no one gave a fuck about Tyson Fury. All right? No one gave a fuck about Tyson Fury. His comeback against Pianetta and all these twats, no one cared about. So people will look at it as, oh, Wilder sees easy pickings, or he sees a wounded animal and he's going to take his opportunity now, where not really. Do you know what I mean? Like, Tyson Fury had been training for 2 years. That layoff, again, my opinion, allegedly, all that good shit. He was saying he's depressed and blah, 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 painted a fucking sympathy story for you, right? But really, he was serving a 2-year drug ban. Again, cheating. This guy has a history of cheating. Drug bans, playing with fucking tampered gloves and cocaine and steroids. His fucking manager is one of the biggest crime lord bosses in Ireland, like all of that shit, right? Like, this guy's got a history of cheating. So for me, adding all that up. But anyway, Wholesome Wilder over here, yeah, my boy, Wholesome Wilder, yeah? Bruh, he gave him a shot. The guy cheated in the first shot. Fuck that, cool, whatever. He gave him another shot. He gave him a rematch. What? And this is back in February 2018. Tyson was like, oh, I'm going to sign with ESPN, get 80 million. Cool, you got the bag, whatever, fine. Then he went on his Euro bum bashing tour where he just, like, you know, Otto Wallin and all these people. And then he went to WWF and done some shit there. And then he fight, like a whole year surpassed where he again agreed to fight Wilder. And in that contract, there was the third match as well, the trilogy. So he got his second shot. He cheated in his second shot. And he won. And now we're left with a landscape where Tyson Fury doesn't want to fulfill the obligation of doing the trilogy rematch. even though we were in the middle of a pandemic and those laws or those contract stipulations can easily be changed simply because the world shut down. But it sounds even more suspicious to me, the fact that this guy gave you 2 opportunities, you're not giving him 1 back. You're in the middle of a trilogy. And furthermore, with all the doubt that surrounds the way you beat him, especially with shooting gloves and all of that shit, you should be the first to try to clear your name and be like, you know what, I'll fight him with my hands tied behind my back. How about that? I'll beat him that way. Like, don't come out and say shit like, oh, the contract's ended or he's putting shit through my name. Like, bro, you put shit through your name. You decided to box with those gloves. You decided to take steroids and cocaine. You decided to fuck hookers. You decided to do, he's not doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? Leave the poor black man alone, bro. Leave him alone, bro. He's too wholesome. He's too fucking wholesome, bro.
This guy. Truth, do you care to retort? Is
it my turn? It's like Skip Bayless says, is it my turn? It's my turn now. I sat through all of that. Now you're going to have to sit through mine. Okay? Let's start with the first fight. Okay? Let's start with that. First of all, actually, let's be devil's advocate. Tooth, I don't disagree with your assumptions on Tyson Fury, because I was the one that was telling you about the 2-year that he had layoff that he has. I'm not Tyson Fury's biggest fan. That 2-year layoff, it was shrouded in a lot of conspiracy when it comes to his drugs ban. And I forgot who he was fighting, but it was before he fought Klitschko, and then they found something in his system, and then the ban came afterwards. But that's another story. So Tyson Fury does have a history of, you know, undercover activity, underhanded activity.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's agree on that point.
I do. A lot of things you said I agree with. I agree with.
Because I remember when everyone was on Fury, that's why I didn't like Fury, because of that one aspect. You know, the whole thing I didn't agree with. But let's get to the first fight. The first fight, it was undoubtedly Wilder saw an opportunity, because let's remember, Wilder does not think for himself. Okay, AJ, Wilder, even to an extent Fury, they don't really think for themselves. They got people that think for them. Al Heyman, Shelly Finkel in the corner for AJ, Eddie Hearn. They don't think for themselves. Shelly Finkel saw the opportunity. They saw a Tyson Fury off for 2 years, flipping 200 and something pounds, and he was there for the taking. So that's why Wilder approached that fight so confidently. Okay. Now, you said he cheated in the first fight in regard to his floppy gloves. Well, so we
don't need to get into that, to be honest.
I don't even want to get into it again, because it's
don't need to get, because, bruv, at the end of the day, like I said right at the beginning of when I was making my points, I'll let you continue, bruv, was that bruv, you could go, like, there's 2 sides to this. You could go a bunch of evidence that says his gloves were, you know, tampered with, and you can find a bunch of people saying that. So it's just a matter of
okay. So that's the thing. So so you're right. So in truth, I don't even want to get into the whole tampering stuff no more, because even in the second fight, I don't want to get into the tampering stuff no more, because I'm playing devil's advocate. So I'm gonna be like, okay, maybe Fury did cheat. Let's say he did cheat. Okay. For me, if I was Wilder, 2 things. Why would I? And this is why I can't trust Wilder. This is why I can't be on Wilder's side. If there's both sides, I'm on neither side. I just want to see the third fight.
Yeah.
I'm on neither side, because if I'm Wilder, what he's saying doesn't correspond with reality. If he is saying that Fury cheated, why did he fire what's his name? Mark Breland. Why did he fire Mark Breland for stopping the fight?
I agree.
Or doing whatever, when Mark Breland saved your life? If this guy's got loaded gloves that you so believe, then Mark Breland saved your damn life because you don't want to carry on getting pumped by a guy with loaded gloves, or he's cheating on someone with gloves.
I agree.
Or if Mark Breland spiked your water, why would you let him carry on or whatever? So he did you a favor. So why would you fire him? And Jay Diaz was the one in there in the room, so he should have been the one that would come out and said, "Oh, something happened." Maybe Jay Diaz didn't see it. Maybe he was too busy laughing and doing whatever. But this is what I'm saying. What he says just doesn't correspond with reality, and this is why I can't get on either side. If there's evidence, let it come out. For me, if I was Wilder, I would take this. I would take this to court. Take this, let all the fighters get everything out in the open. I wouldn't even be thinking about a third fight because you want a third fight with a cheater. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would I want a third fight with a cheater? Let it come out.
They're fighters, isn't it? They're fighters. They're not lawyers, man. The only way they know how to resolve a dispute is to, and that's what I like about that's what I like about it, bruv. Like at the same time, you know, that's what I mean, bruv. Wilder was just too wholesome, bruv. He just wants the trilogy, bruv. Just give my man the fight.
But this is what I'm trying to say. I don't care about none of the stuff no more. Just let the third fight come because I want everything to be out in the open. As I said, I want Fury to be stripped down to his freaking, you know, whatever. So he's not hiding nothing in his underpants or nothing up his bum or whatever. You know, those guys in jail that like to take out hide stuff in their hand.
Prison break shit.
That's what I'm saying you. Let him be stripped down.
Keystering, bruv. Keystering.
That's what I'm saying. Let him just be stripped down. Let the third fight happen. So everything is out in the open. I don't want to see Wilder coming out in no freaking Transformer costume. Let him be carried to the ring. No excuses. And then that's it. That's the end of it. Because at the end of the day, I'm sick and tired. Because what's happened now in combat sports, not so much UFC. UFC is slowly starting to happen, but not as much. But in boxing, there's a high level, and we've seen it all this year. When a fighter loses, there are excuses upon excuses upon
so many excuses.
Instead, in UFC, I love it. They just accept it. They just fully, apart from Conor, who lost to Khabib, they just fully accept it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see anyone in UFC ever complain, apart from close decisions where it could have gone either way. Yeah. But that's fine because it could have gone either way. But no fight ever says, "Oh, I lost because I was injured," or "I lost because freaking this." Lomachenko flipping went and got put out there, "Oh, I'm getting surgery because after the Timo fight, whatever." Tio Lopez actually had a proper injury. He actually had a proper injury that he had to go get surgery for. It doesn't matter. All this stuff is part of the fight game.
Yeah,
all of this is part of the fight game. I'm hearing stories about old fighters, boxers. I think even Mark Breland, he had to fight one fight with a broken hand.
Yeah.
You go. That's what you got. These guys. That's what you go into fighting for.
Yeah, it's true.
But then all of a sudden, you got people now. I think Pacquiao started it off as well when he lost to Mayweather. My shoulder was I couldn't move my shoulder. Like, who cares?
No, it's true. It's true.
Who cares? Like, I don't hear none of those excuses in UFC, but it's in boxing and it's prevalent. So, and I want that shit to stop, man. If you lose, you lose.
Boxing, there's too much of an ego pride problem in it for sure. And that's with Wilder's excuses. It did have a tone of that, but I feel like it was misunderstood and maybe mistranslated as well, because you have to put yourself in his position where he's just lost his title, and to be fair, he wasn't a very popular champion anyway. Do you know? I don't believe
it was Wilder though. This is the thing. This is the thing. I know you're a Wilder fan, and I know that you didn't make any excuses initially, and you're fine. But there was the other Wilder fans that came out with excuses for him. If everything remained quiet on that end, I believe up to this day, Wilder would have been silent. He would have been back in the lab preparing for the third fight. And that's what I would have loved.
That's what I mean, because he's not a very popular fighter and he doesn't get a lot of favors done for him. And people write a lot of bad shit about him because it's easy to. Do you know what I mean? Bruv, he's big and he's black. That's enough in this sport. That's enough in this sport to already make you public enemy number one. But that aside, bruv, he's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Like, who? Who gives a fuck about that? He's not even from somewhere like a Cali or a Philippines or Detroit where they will hold you. Do you know what I mean? They will represent until you go worldwide and beyond. Like, he's not even from one of those ends, bro.
It's true.
He doesn't have all of those privileges, so he's already fighting an uphill battle. And then with the whole, he came out and he done that little Instagram video and he made this point about him being spiked and whatever, his coach. And it's like, bruv, I feel like, yeah, you're right. That message did seem a bit, bruv, you're looking for excuses, you're delusional. But at the same time, if you just take into account like some of the things I said, well, what if maybe, devil's advocate, the gloves were tampered?
Yeah.
Then you listen to his point of view from a different. You're like, this guy's actually trying to reach out. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to set the record straight. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to clear the air, but no one listening.
I would love for him though. I would love for him, instead of all of that, for him to get a team behind him.
Yeah, he does. He needs to. Listen,
which would protect him.
Wholesome Wilder is in a dirty game, all right? He's just too wholesome for this dirty game, bro. I agree. I think he should have got rid of his team. I think sacking Mark Breland, I'm sitting on the fence with it. I'm like, on one side, I'm like, yeah, you're right, bro. He saved your life. There was someone in there cheating, trying to knock your head clean off with his fists, and you sack him, the person who had your best interest at heart, saved you the chance to live another day. But there's the flip side of that coin, and this is what you don't understand. Certain fighters don't want that. Certain fighters have made it clear to their team that if you do that shit, I'm firing you. I need to die in the ring. Like, I'm a martyr. Now, again, for us being observers, what say do we have on the matter? Do you know what I mean? It's one of those. It's one of those things where you need. It's a coach and fighter relationship. They need to have that established when they go out there. With the rest of his team, though, Shelley Finkel and all those people, Al Heyman, bruv, again, he needs to get rid of them, but who else would do a better job? Like, I know. Dirty. Again, this is what I'm saying. Wilder is a wholesome dude in a dirty game, bruv. They've done him dirty. They didn't have his best interest out for him. Even when he became WBC champion, they already had Charles Martin, the GOAT. Yeah, I walk this earth like a king. All right, the GOAT. They had him as WBA champion on their side of the street, but they decided to ship him over here to fight AJ, so AJ could get the WBA. So you know what I mean? Even from way back when, you see these little moves where they've just treated Wilder just as another boxer. You know what I mean?
I think he should go off on his own though, because as I said, Al Heyman has protected him. I don't mind Al Heyman. Al Heyman protects his fighters. Shelley Finkel has his own plans, like Bob Arum, that are not for the fighter, just for money, for longevity and money. Someone like what I honestly believe, and I believe this in my heart, despite me not liking Wilder in terms of, I don't even not like Wilder, I just don't like the people around him leading him astray. I believe Wilder will walk into any fight, give him a fight, he'll go into it regardless if he wins or loses. AJ, Dillian White, Fury, whoever, he will go into any fight. But unfortunately, his team, just like AJ, his team don't have his interests at heart. No, they just want longevity and money, and that's it, and that's the issue.
And that is the issue in boxing, the complex issue in boxing, which is why the UFC is gathering more and more fans purely based on the fact that they give you the fights, but it's not all about, and you haven't got different governing bodies going through it. It's only one under one umbrella, and they get the fights done that the fans want to see. But hopefully 2021 will give us more fights that we do want to see, and we may or may not see the trilogy between Saint Wilder and Tyson Fury.
Telling you, bro, my boy is just too wholesome for this again. He's just too wholesome. But hey, listen, yeah, if 2021 is going to be a year, it's got to be the year of Charles Martin, bro. Telling you, bro. Charles Martin, I walk this earth like a king, bro. That's my motto for 2021, bro. All right.
That is mad. But nah, I personally agree with the highlights that you both come out with. For me, personally, apart from Hamilton getting the 7th F1 title, for me it has to be the Lakers getting back to the top of the tree.
I knew that'd be a highlight. It's been what, 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
Freaking hell, 10 years for you, the last time since you celebrated.
Since the late, great Kobe took us to the promised land. And AD led us single-handedly to the NBA title. With some help from playoff Rondo and KCP, and there was another guy that was there, two's best friend in LeBron James, who helped lead AD to greatness.
Finalist MVP, yeah.
Rob.
Okay. Answer me one question, both of you. I know Tuja's gonna answer off the top of his head because he's blind like that. I know you got your answer already. But TJ, if LeBron with anyone else in that Lakers team could have won that final, but 100% AD with anyone else could not have won the finals.
Giannis.
Even if
I don't think AD and Giannis could have done it. I think
anyone else.
I think AD and Kawhi together. No. I think they could have. Reason being is that Kawhi would have to rely on Pandemic P, bruv. Pandemic P getting blown out by 51 by the Mavericks.
But listen, the reason AD shined.
I think Kawhi's the only other person that he could have probably won it.
But Kawhi's not a leader.
I say no.
Kawhi's not a leader. LeBron was the one that talked to AD and talked to him about playing through injury, being the man. Kawhi's not. If Kawhi was a leader, he would have talked about Pandemic P and let him become Paul George again.
But Pandemic P is Pandemic P, bro. Right? You can't help him. He's never gonna win. He's never gonna win an NBA title unless he's like the 4th best player on the team, bruv. Unless he's the 4th best player on the team, he's never gonna win an NBA title because he's definitely the 2nd best, and it's debatable whether he could be the 3rd best player. Like I think even Chris Bosh overshadows Pandemic P, bruv. He's just trash.
Listen, bruv, Bosh is
Paul George, bruv.
Legend.
Chris Bosh.
Yeah, of course.
Nah, bruv.
I know that's not TJ's boy.
But wasn't he a part of the Big Three then in
Miami? It was a big two,
exactly. Big two and Chris Paul.
Well, listen.
It became a big three. It became a big three when Ray Allen went there.
Listen, yeah. Put some respect on Bosch's name, bruv. Yeah? The big two was him and D Wade. All right. Bron was like the sideman, bruv.
Look,
right?
Do you know why I like Bosch? Because he accepted his role. Like he was a guy that wasn't trying to be anything else. There's a lot of these guys, and especially with black people. I don't know what it is with black people. They just can't accept being anything else. They have to be the man. If they're not the man, then I just don't understand.
Right, Kyrie, bruv.
It's only a matter of time. Kyrie's like a ticking time bomb.
I'm telling you, but no, that for me was the highlight, bringing the title back, especially in the year that Kobe passed.
Yeah, man.
To bring the title back to LA and show why we are the A side in LA was the highlight for me personally. Especially
it was fitting.
Especially that three that AD hit in game two against the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I think that for me said to me, nah, bruv, like, I think this is us. I think we're gonna do it, even though it was just the conference finals.
Yeah.
I think that just said, you know what, that was us. And obviously, when he did it, he said Kobe straight away, and you just knew it would happen. Now I know too, and it will say it was the LeBron Invitational, and it's possible it was, because as we said, I think if there was no pandemic and Corona didn't come about, I think the Clippers wouldn't have folded the way that they did. And I think they could have possibly, depending on how Pandemic P would have played, they could have quite possibly done something and stopped us from winning it. But I just think, as much as I'm not LeBron's biggest fan, we all know my thoughts on LeBron, but like the title came home where it belongs, and you just got to look forward now, man. Obviously, this season's going to be way more difficult. Bro, it's unpredictable already.
I know. Everyone's just losing. Like, everyone, they just... Like,
Orlando Magic are unbeaten. Orlando Magic are unbeaten, bro. And you're just thinking to yourself, who have they got?
Crazy.
Like, it's absolutely nuts. It's nuts, bro. But,
I think everything's going to be sorted out in the playoffs, but I think up until then, it's just going to be random. Because, like, you're looking at Bucks, you thought Bucks were strong, but then they've had a few losses this season.
But they blew out Miami.
I know, but then Miami came back and beat them last night.
Oh, yeah. It's mad.
Yeah, it's just crazy, like, crazy.
I might have to start supporting Giannis, bro.
I like Giannis.
I like Giannis, and I haven't got nothing against Giannis,
but he can't shoot.
I think the Bucks. I think if you look at the Bucks' team, I said it when we did the preview for the NBA, and I was like, I think he's got pieces around him. He's got shooters now around him, so that he can actually do something.
It's got nothing to do with the team he plays for or fucking how good he is, bruv. I matched this chick on a dating app, and she's half Greek, half Nigerian. That might need to be my chat up line, bruv. You get me, bro?
This guy, bro.
I might be hollering at you two, like, bro, yo, how many points did Giannis drop today?
This guy, bro. Nah,
you might see me on the next Zoom call with a fucking Giannis jersey, bro.
I'm telling you. But for the two of you, as we transcend into 2021, Tooth, what is it, in shorter words as possible, what is it do you want to see in 2021? What's the thing that you're most looking forward to? Fantasy. It's a fantasy. So if you could put in any sport, if you could put anything together, or any matchup together, or if you could see anyone win something, like for you, 2021, what do you want to see?
Shit, that's a good question, man. I would like to see, it's mad, but I would like to see John Jones versus Adesanya.
My boy.
No.
My boy.
Why?
Mr.
Come on,
Bones.
man. Come on.
Is it?
Okay. So you want to see John Jones Adesanya more than John Jones Ngannou?
Ooh, but it just depends, doesn't it, man? It depends what the moves are. If Jones goes up to heavyweight,
which he is.
All right. Actually, both. You make a good point. Both of those fights. Both of those.
So one early and one late in the year.
Whichever way Jones decides. If he decides to move heavyweight, I want to see him fight.
Yeah.
Ngannou, if Jones decides to stay at light heavy and Adesanya moves up, then I want to see those two. That's probably the biggest one, just off the cuff. And Fury Wilder as well.
100%. True for you, and obviously anything that you want to see.
This year, I want to see Arsenal get back to where we belong.
And on that note,
I want to see Arteta do well. No matter how much Tooth has an issue with our assistant coach, the guy that lays out the cones for Pep, I want to see Arteta do well. I hope the board back him. I hope the fans give him a chance. There's been more and more calls for certain fan channels to be put out, to be cut out from the fan base, which I agree with, because too much negativity isn't good. And I think we've had too much negativity in 2020.
Bruv, you're sounding like Ty from AFTV, bruv.
But it's about positivity now, man. We can't.
Man
2020 has been.
Man saying he's been talking to Mr. KA's brother, bruv.
Well, 2020 has been nothing but negativity. Let us go forward. Let's bring some positivity back to our team, man. That's what we need. We need support. We need bring the fan base together. And you know what? I'm not even talking about us. I'm talking about fan bases of every sport. In terms of fan base in fight fans. If you love fighting, if you love boxing, stop picking fighters. Like, stop being so emotionally attached to these guys. Like, you just want to see the best fight the best. You want to see the best teams play each other. That kind of stuff. Like, stop all of this nonsense getting attached to certain players or having agendas. People having agendas like against Pogbas and all that.
Yeah, because you mentioned that, I want to see Bud and Spence this year as well. Because you said that, it brought that to mind as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well. I agree. Fight for me, my biggest wish, apart from Arsenal, my biggest wish in I want to see boxing return to where it was. I would love a year with just the best fight, the best. I'm talking about Canelo going through Charlos, Andrade. Give Triple G his third fight, which he wants. If he wants, I want to see AJ Wilder, Fury, all fighting each other. I want to see King Dillian Wright fighting up there against Wilder. I just want to see the best fights in boxing this year more than anything. Like, I'm starting to love UFC a bit more, but I'm still a boxing man at heart. I just want to see the best fight the best, all the way through the division. Davis fighting, everyone, Loma, Haney, all those guys fighting one another. Timo, as Tooth said, Bud, Spence. Have I missed anyone? Billy Joe Saunders fight flipping Eubank again. Just
it's not.
Just fight, man. Just fight, man. I don't care. Just fight.
I hear that. I agree.
Good names and exciting fights, man.
Yeah, man.
That's it. I mean, I can't disagree. I want to see all that as well. I can't wait to see what happens with the AJ Fury and Wilder, all of those together. I can't wait. Canelo Triple G3. I want Canelo to also take the belt off of Billy Goat's Gruff, bruv. Like, he's just been. Bruv,
wait, did he still have a belt?
Bruv, he's a fraud. He's still got a belt for no reason. He's the biggest fraud in boxing right now. Billy Goat's Gruff, bruv. I hate him with a passion. He's a fraud.
I think Tooth loves him though. That's Tooth's boy.
Nah, never that,
bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like, for me, I want to see that. I want to see.
The only boy I have at middleweight is White Chocolate, bruv. Caleb Plant. They're not my boys.
I'm telling you, I want to see that. I want to see, like, in terms of NBA, I want to see the Clippers and Lakers in the conference finals. That I want to see Lakers versus the Nets in the NBA finals.
That'd be magical.
That's what I want to see.
KD's looking hot,
I want to see Hamilton.
MVP.
I want to see Hamilton get his 8th title, bro. I'm looking forward to the Olympics this year. I want to see what's going to happen in that.
I forgot about the Olympics,
I'm telling you, Olympics is coming. In the Euros, I want to see England fail again. Like, just so everyone can stop chatting shit. Like, I'm telling you, bro. Like, I want everyone else to prove these guys, bro, just to get rid of Southgate because he's crap and he won't put respect on my guy Grealish. Like, bro, I want to see Schmeichel gone as well. Like, that would be the best thing in the world for me.
I think your nightmare is going to happen, United win the title under Ole. Nah, I think that's going to happen.
No chance in hell. Bruv, hell will freeze over, bruv.
What would you do if Ole won the title?
I know.
But I'd have to kill myself, bruv. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd have to. Bruv, like, how many things, bruv, how much black magic can this guy tap into for him to win the league? Bro, like, when I looked at the table the other day and I'm like, this guy is only 3 points behind Liverpool. Bruv, I will blame every single other fan's team if this guy manages to win the league, bruv. Like, are you taking the piss? This guy that hasn't got a clue what he's doing, bruv.
It's scary though. Imagine, I'm just saying, imagine if you guys actually had a manager, man. This league would have been done already.
Bruv, if we had a manager this season, we would have run away with the league because everyone else is flopping. Like, don't get me wrong, it's gonna come, bruv. Like after the FA Cup game next weekend, and then we have to play Liverpool away. We got to go away to you lot as well. Like, he'll go back to normal, and everything will go back to normal, and then we'll end up back down at 9th place or whatever. But at this moment in time, you got these foolish United fans chatting rubbish about how look at where we are, second in the league, and just chatting shit, bruv. And it's just like, bro, it's because everyone else is flopping. It's not because he's doing a good job. And he's scraping by. Like that Wolves game the other day, Wolves game plan was perfect, bro. Perfect. And then what did it take? I said to my missus, I was like, it's either going to take a lapse in concentration or luck for United to get a goal in this game. What happened? Rashford got a deflection. It deflected in the 92nd minute. Like, don't get me wrong, I cheered, but I was just like, this is what it comes down to. This guy is
crazy,
fluking his way.
How though? I want to know how. You think about it. Brighton, they scored a goal after the game was done. Southampton coming back 2-0, winning the last game. West
How many
Ham,
comebacks?
How many? Like,
comebacks?
it's ridiculous.
How many comebacks? But bro, as I said to you in the podcast in football, it's because away from home, he's played nobody. That's why he's been able to come back. But away from home, he played nobody. Leicester threw away the game because he decided to play the wrong team. Even Paul Scholes, who is the biggest bummer of Ole, bruv, was like, nah, he played the wrong team. I'm having reservations about him. So, bro, the biggest thing in 2021 is Ole gone. Obviously, I can't rely on Poch no more because he's going PSG. So I have to say Ole gone, get Allegri in, and hopefully we'll have a proper manager and we can do something in 2021.
If you get Allegri in, bruv, just that's a wrap, bruv. You guys are just open.
Of course, because when you look at our team, as I said to the truth, our team is a centre back and a winger, a left-footed winger away from challenging. From challenging. It's as simple as that, bro, because I think all the other bases are covered. All the other bases are covered. So we're a left-footed winger and a centre-back away from challenging, bro. It's as simple as that. But that is what I want for 2021 too. Anything you want for Newcastle in 2021? I mean, you got a point against Liverpool yesterday.
Did we?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, bruv. You got a 0-0 draw.
Bruv, there you go, bruv. There you go. Like, bruv, I am so detached from football. It's like, bruv, you know, you got relatives back home. Like, I've got relatives in Iran. I know their name and their face, but I have no fucking idea what goes on in their life and their business. Newcastle's like that to me now, bruv. It's just one of those things. Like, bruv, I even get updates on my phone. I'm like, whatever.
I heard that, bro.
Yeah, you want your takeover, innit? You want your takeover.
Do you know what? Yeah, I did this summer. It was this summer, innit?
Yeah.
That shit was happening. Yeah, I wanted it bad, bro, because I thought if there's any saving grace to get me back into football, this is what I need. Like, this is what I need, because I'm tired for fucking 30 years following a shit team that always fails and gets relegated. Like, it's done with, and the glory days are not, like, you know, it's done now. That's the novelty of that has now run out. Not that we had any glory days, but, you know, the Shearer, Ginola era, Asprilla, that time is kind of faded into the past now. So I needed that takeover to get me back into it. But now I'm like, bruv, even if we did get taken over, and even if we did get that sort of Arab money and buy Mbappe, you know what I mean? I was just still couldn't get into it, bruv. My heart is broken, bruv. It's torn. You know,
see, Newcastle board. You need to mend to his heart and get him back on the bandwagon, bruv. Get him back. Get that takeover done.
Bruv, at the same time, I don't know about you boys. You boys still follow it with a passion, and I rate that. But don't you feel like football now is just dead compared to the football we grew up on? But just I'm curious to know. Like,
I fully agree. I fully agree. I think especially this year, And I'm glad, but as I said, this is why I don't like Mourinho. And I'm glad that his Tottenham started to slide again, because we've gone back to the safety first era. And I don't like that kind of football. I don't like the safety first kind of era. It's so robotic now. Like, when's the last time you see a player, you know, back in early 2000s, look at the amount of players you had that were just mavericks. Henry, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Cristiano, Pirlo, Seedorf, Kaká, you know, all these players, Del Piero, all these magical players, Shevchenko, all these players that can win a game for you. Now it's just so robotic. It's such a robotic way of playing now.
Because it's all about systems.
Yeah,
it's all about systems and
like
tactics.
No players with flair no more. They're trying to coach flair out the game at the grassroots level, you know, which I'm trying to personally stop. That's my war against that.
Bruv, it's only really Neymar, bruv.
Yeah, even him in Spain, they try to coach the skills out of Neymar, fam. It's disappointing, but so yeah, in that sense too, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
2002 World Cup, bro. Like, I was gassed to watch fucking
China,
Turkey. Do you know what I mean? I was gassed to watch this shit team, bro.
Yeah, ballers. Flipping El Hadji. What's his name? Was it El Hadji? Who's that guy?
Morocco. That was Morocco.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. Like, bro, even these shit games at the World
Cup. That's what I'm saying, though.
15 years ago, I was gassed to watch them, bro. You know what I mean? Like, fucking Costa Rica versus Ecuador. Like, bro, I'm there, I'm watching it. Now, bro, man. I can't even lay eyes on my own team. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not just you. It's not just you. It's not just you. Football in a viewing thing has just gone down. Yeah, like, kids don't watch football no more. From coaching, I can tell you, I ask kids, do you watch football? What do you watch? They say they don't watch football. Imagine that.
Probably.
No, it's crazy. They're all just watching YouTube. So what we've gathered, people, from 2021, we want to see all the big fights in boxing. We want to see all the big fights in UFC. We want to see Ollie sacked. We want to see Arsenal get back to 10th. And we want to see Lewis Hamilton get his 8th title. And finally,
Mourinho gone, by the way.
We want to see Mourinho gone. And we want to see Newcastle get taken over so 2 gets back into football. And that is what we're hoping for in 2021 from all the sports. I just want to say thank you to my guys, Tooth and Truth, for so much turmoil this year. But these podcasts, these videos, dropping knowledge, dropping wisdom all the time have gotten us through it. Hopefully it's gotten the people through it as well. Want to shout out Mr. KA as well. Want to shout out Cooking with Rash for the 2 videos that he did also. But people, we're not going away. We are going to be back again, going harder than ever, putting out more content than ever, and even better than ever. We're going to be bringing in some new people as well. But you'll still have us regulars with you, because at the end of the day, this is what we are here to do, and we want to drop that knowledge. And even if there's knowledge that you like or you don't like, we don't really care, to be honest. At the end of the day, it's about facts, but it's always also about opinions. Opinions are what divide, but opinions is also what gets us talking. But I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully 2021 brings out the best for you. We get over the Rona and the new strain, the old strain, the back strain, whatever strain that they're trying to come out with. And as we said, we can't get into the vaccine because we don't want to be getting shut down so soon. But thank you to my guys again. Have a good new year. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace. Put your lighters up.